Ano ai me ke aloha e na ohana, mahalo nui ke hui ho ana. Glad to be back with you folks this evening for another Haʻawina ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi for our hui ki pai pai. This week is going to be a review. Yeah, we're going to na ana everything that we learned thus far with respect to na māka painu. Okay, so our pahuhopu for this week is ekahi, e ho'oma'ama'a I na pepeke painu me kona kino ho'ole. So we're going to look at the various forms. The first one is kumau, which is the habitual action. In other words, it's something that just happens, right? There's no tense involved in the kumau form, okay? Habitual action. Maikai. We're going to review na kawoha, e, and mai. We're going to review nokava I hala, which was ua and e. Nokava ʻaʻano, which was kene and ene in the negative form. Nokava e hiki mai ana, which was e ana in both the positive and negative forms. And finally, no ka hoʻike I ka hana ʻano, e ana, which is what we identified as e ana e lua, right? We had two forms of e ana e kahi and e ana e lua, and they're slightly different. So we're going to review all of these various forms of the pepeke painu, maikai. And as usual, e a'o I na hua ʻŌlelo o ka pa'ani ha'uki. In this lesson, we're going to learn words for various types of sports. Okay, so we're going to incorporate that and review at the same time. So maikai, this is going to be a quick review. Again, this lesson is cumulative as the others were as well. So make sure you watch the previous Haʻawina prior to watching this video, because this is a quick review just to make sure that everything that we learned thus far is top of mind and that we can recall them when we need to use them. Okay. Me ke ala mana'o e ho'omaua ku kākou. All right. Pepeke painu, ʻaʻohe maka painu. There's no tense markers in this example. So let's take a look. ʻaʻohe maka painu, which is our habitual, right? In a habitual state or process. All right, let's take a look at our first example. Hili o ka leo I ke la kini pōpō. All right, so hili is our painu. O ka leo is the piko of the sentence, right? And I ke la kini pōpō is the ami, and in that ami we have the okena. Okay, we have the okena, or the thing receiving the action of the verb. In this case, the verb is hili, which is a hamani. Okay, hamani type verb. Hili o kaleo I ke la kini pōpō. Kaleo is doing something to that ball. Let's see what it is. Aye, kaleo hits that ball. So hili means to hit. Kaleo hits that ball. Maikai, ho'omau. And here is the negative form. A'ole hili o kaleo I ke la kini pōpō. Yeah, so this is the opposite of the positive statement. Now this is the negative. Kaleo does not hit that ball. Okay? Maikai, there's no tense involved. So a'ohe maka painu. Maikai, good review on this one. E ho'omau no. All right, pepeke painu e mai. All right, this is, if you remember, this is the kawoha, right? The giving a command or a suggestion. And again, the e commands to do something, and the word mai commands not to do something. All right, so e, do something, mai, do not do something. Okay, let's take a look at the example. E kaleo, e hili oi I ke ia kini pōpō. All right, so we're calling to kaleo. Oh, kaleo, e hili oi I ke ia kini pōpō. It's a command because we see the word e at the beginning, right? That comes before the painu hili, and we know what hili means. So e hili oi, we're talking to kaleo, I ke ia kini pōpō. This kini pōpō. All right, let's take a look at the translation. Ai, kaleo, hit this ball. Maybe this is the coach talking to Kaleo. And the coach says, e Kaleo, e hili oi I ke ia kini pōpō. And then Kaleo takes his swing and hits the ball. Maikai. All right. And the negative, e Kaleo, mai hili oi I ke ia kini pōpō. And that word mai is crucial because it is not telling Kaleo to hit the ball. It's telling Kaleo not to hit the ball. Okay, so e kaleo, mai hili oi ke ia kini pōpō, kaleo, don't hit this ball. All right, maikai, good review. All right, the next pepeke painu is nokava I hala. We use ua and e. The maka painu are ua and e for the positive and negative form. And when used with hehele and hamani verbs, it indicates an action or a condition as completed, right? Some refer to it as past tense or have happened, with the ed at the end, yeah, happened, walked, talked, etc. Let's take a look at an example of this one. Ua hei hei laua I kapolei. Okay, so ua tells us right off the bat that, oh, this is an action that has been completed. It happened already. We know this when we see the word ua in the front in the po'o position. Okay, hei hei is our painu. It is our verb that we're covering this lesson, which is in your papahua ʻŌlelo, right? Your vocabulary list. So hei hei, who's doing the hei hei? Laua. Laua is our papani, meaning they two or them two. Where are they going to? Where are they doing this hei hei? I kapule. I kapule means toward kapule. Yeah. They're moving toward kapule. This is the ami kuhilana, and we're moving to kapule. We're not in, on, or at kapule. Okay, hei hei. Does anybody have any mana'o for the meaning of the word hei hei? If you said race, then maikai, let's take a look. They two raced to Kapolei. It already happened. So the word race turns to raced. Okay, completed action. They two raced to Kapolei. And that's how we get wahei lawa I Kapolei. Now, the negative form of this, whenever we negate a past tense or a completed action sentence, the ua changes to e. So let's take a look. Ole laua I hei hei I kapole. We don't say ole laua ua hei hei I kapole. We say ole laua I hei hei I kapole. The e takes the place of ua in the negative form. And we also have an example of a papani as the pico. Therefore, the papani jumps up in the front in the po'o position following the word ole. Okay, so ole laua I hei hei I kapole. All right, so now nokava I hala using ua and e with ʻaʻano type verbs, the meaning changes. Now it means was, past tense, or is now, or has become. So let's nana at an example of this. Ua mākaukau ke nā keiki I ka hoʻomaʻamaʻa. Mākaukau means to be ready, to be prepared. Ke nā keiki is the pico. It's a ka'i memea combination. That child. Okay, and as always, when we have ʻaʻano type verbs, the ave of the sentence is usually the reason why the pico of the sentence is in that condition. In this case, the keiki, that keiki is in a condition of being makoko, of ready and skilled, right? They have the skills necessary to do whatever they're going to do. So let's take a look. That child is now skilled from practicing. Okay, so let's say a few weeks ago, the keiki just started to learn this new sport, and he or she wasn't so makau at that time, but now he or she is. So we can say, ai ua makau kena keiki I ka ho'omaʻamaʻa. That child is now skilled from practicing or because of practicing. Okay, so this keiki is makau. So let's take a look how to negate this. All right, so if the keiki was not makau, we would use ʻaʻole, right? ʻaʻole means no or not. Okay, it negates the sentence. ʻAʻole I mākaukau ke nā keiki I ka hoʻomaʻamaʻa. All right, so this is just the opposite of the positive statement. That child is not skilled or ready from practicing or because of practicing. Okay, and remember, when we negate, we don't use ua, we use e. Yeah, we don't say ʻaʻole ua mākaukau. We say ʻaʻole I mākaukau. Maikaʻi no. E hoʻomau aku no. Let's review the pepeke painu ke nei in the negative form e nei. Again, no keia va ʻaʻano. Yeah, right now, present tense in the moment. We use kene, ane with hehele and hamani verbs. It indicates that an action is happening right now. All right, at this time. Okay, let's take a look at the la'ana, which is ke kine oia I ke kini popo I ka hina'i. So ki is our painu. It's a new word in your vocabulary list. Look that word up. Let's take a look at the rest of the sentence. However, oya is our piko, right? Oya is a papani, he or she, depending on the context. What is the thing receiving the action of ki? Okay. Ai, ike kini popo. The kini popo is receiving the action. Then we have another additional ave there telling us where this kini popo is going. It's going to ikahinai. All right. And the hinai is another word in your vocabulary list. So if you checked your vocabulary list and you understand what those words are, let's see if you're able to translate correctly. Here we go. He or she is shooting the ball at the basket right now at this moment. Okay, so you're watching a basketball game and the person goes and shoots the ball. Ke kine oya ike kini popo ikahinai. Right? It's happening right now. To negate this, we say a ole oya e kine ike kini popo ikahinai. Because the piko of a sentence is a papani, which is oya. It'll jump up in front. Laleka papani piko imua following aole, and then we negate it by saying e kini. We drop the K from kini, and now it's e ne, all right, because we're negating it. Ole oya e kini, ikikini popo, ikahinai. And we get the translation, he or she is not shooting the ball at the basket. Okay, again, ki means to shoot. In this case, we're talking about a basketball, and the basketball is being shot at or to the hina'i, which is the basket. Ke kine oya I ke kini popo I ka hina'i, a ole oya e kine I ke kini popo I ka hina'i. Mai kai. Oya, no leila, another form of kene and the negative form ane. Again, no ka ʻaʻano. With ʻaʻano verbs, it changes the meaning a little bit to in the process of being completed. Okay. So something is going through a process when it's an ʻaʻano verb, right? Or a stative verb. So let's take a look at the example. Ke malo o nei ka mikilima o kiola I ka lā. Ka mikilima is the piko of the sentence. It is the mikilima of kiola. Yeah. O kiola, belonging to kiola. Mikilima is a new word as well. And then we have the reason or the cause, and it's the sun, right? The sun. So let's take a look at the translation and try and make sense of this. If you have an idea already, go ahead and write it down. Let's compare and contrast and see what you got. All right, here we go. The glove of Kiola, belonging to Kiola, is in the process of drying. Yeah, malo'o means to become dry. Is in the process of drying. Why? What is the reason? Ikala, from the sun, because of the sun, by the sun. So, ke malo'o nei, ka mikilima o Kiola, ikala. Yeah, the glove of Kiola is in the process of drying. It's not dried yet, completely dried. Okay, it is in the process of drying out. All right, to negate that, we say a ole e malo o nei ka mikilima o Kiola ikala. Okay, very simple. We're just adding the word a ole. The piko is not a pronoun. It is not a papani. Therefore, the order stays in its place. Yeah, everything stays in its proper place. And all we do is add a ole to the beginning to make this sentence negative. The glove of Kiola is not in the process of drying from the sun. Mai ka iloa. That's ho'omau. Oh yeah, let's take a look at eana e kahi. And again, eana e kahi is no ka wā e hiki mai ana, eana eana. In the positive and negative form, they stay the same. Nothing changes. All right. So again, with hehele, hamani, and ʻaʻano verbs, it indicates an action or condition that's going to happen. Yep, it hasn't happened yet. It's not happening right now. It is going to happen. All right. E nāna kākou. E no wana, kāna kaika mahine, I kana kini popo pohili. Okay. No is our verb, is our new painu that we're introducing in this Haʻawina. So take a look at that. Look up the definition of no. And then kana kaika mahine is the piko. All right. We have a ka'i memea combination. Kana kaika mahine, his or her daughter. Okay. I kana kini popo pohili. Right. So kana, his or her. Kini popo pohili is a type of ball. And in this case, it's a baseball. Okay, a pohili is the sport of baseball. So the kini popo is the baseball itself. All right. So e no wana kana kaika mahine I kana kini popo pohili. Okay. So if you're able to figure out the translation, let's confirm. His daughter is going to throw her baseball. Okay. So no is the specific word used when referring to throwing something like a ball. Okay, so a no wana, something is going to be thrown. Who's going to do the throwing? Kana kaika mahine. What is she throwing? Kana kini popo pohili, right? Her baseball. All right, maikai. To negate that, we just say a ole e no wana kana kaika mahine I kana kini popo pohili. His daughter isn't or is not going to throw her baseball. Ho'omawaku no. All right, and let's take a look at another example of eana, but this time with an ʻaʻano verb. So again, it indicates an action or a condition as going to happen. And our example is e ma'e ma'e ana ka la'auhili yaya. All right, so ma'e ma'e, we've had that painu before. We had this ʻaʻano before. It means to be in the state or condition of cleanliness or clean, yeah? What is going to be clean? Ka la'auhili. All right, la'auhili is a new word. It is a new kikino. Look that up. And what is the reason? Or in this case, who is the reason? Yeah, why this la'auhili is clean? And the reason is yaya. Yeah, yaya, him or her. This la'auhili, whatever the la'auhili is in a condition or in a state of becoming clean because of who? Because of him or her. All right, let's take a look at the translation. The bat is going to be clean from her. Kala'auhili is the word for bat, yeah, as in baseball bat. The bat is going to be clean from her, because of her, or by her. All right, so ma'e ma'e is our ʻaʻano verb, and this is what we get when we use ʻaʻano verbs. Okay, to negate this, we simply add the word ʻaʻole. ʻaʻole e ma'e ma'e ana ka la'auhili yaya. So it's just the opposite of the positive statement. The bat is not going to be clean from her, by her, or because of her. All right. And finally, eana elua. Eana elua, we said that eana elua was no ka ho'oko ana I ke kahi hana ma ka wā I hala, ka wā ʻaʻano, me ka wā e hiki mai ana. In other words, with hehele, hamani, and ʻaʻano verbs, it marks an action as in the process of occurring in the present, past, and or the future. Right? So it really depends on the context. Yeah. You can still use eana for things that happen in the present. You can use eana for things that happen in the past. And you can definitely use eana for things that happen in the future. But again, this is another function of eana, and it'll depend on the context. So let's take a look. All right, here's the first example. E ho'okūkū ana ke kāne I ka wahine ma ka pō wāwai. Okay, ho'okūkū is a new word. And then we have ke kāne, right, the man. I ka wahine, the woman. Ma ka pō wāwai, that's a new word. Ho'okūkū means to compete. Okay, so we have somebody who's competing I ka wahine with a woman in what sport? Ma ka pō wāwai. All right, so we have multiple meanings here. Okay, the man was competing against the woman in soccer. The man is competing against the woman in soccer. And it could also mean the man will compete against the woman in soccer, depending on the context. All right, so ho'okūkū means to compete. We know what ke kāne is. We know what ka wahine is. Povavai is the word for soccer. All right. So it could mean any one of these contexts depending on the situation. All right. And to negate that, we just add the word ʻaʻole. ʻAʻole e hoʻokuku ana ke kane I ka wahine ma ka povavai. So it just means the opposite of the positive. Maikai, last la'ana, last review sentence. E aukai ana o ke kai maha puna. Okay, aukai is our action word, our verb, our painu. It's a new one, so look that one up. Who's doing this action of aukai? Who is the piko of this sentence? I o ke kai, a person named ke kai. Where is this taking place? Mahapuna, Maikai. And we should come up with the following translations. Kekai was swimming at Hapuna. Kekai is swimming at Hapuna. Or Kekai is going to swim at Hapuna. And to negate that, we just add the word ʻaʻole. ʻAʻole e aukaiana o Kekai mahapuna. Okay? Oia vale no e na ohana for this week's Haʻawina ʻŌlelo Hawaiʻi. A quick na'ana or review of all of the māka painu that we've learned. And again, these are important because things happen in these different spaces of time. And these māka painu allows us to express these ideas as they happen. So mai ka'iloa, great review e na ohana. Keep practicing the various māka painu. And that way we can express ourselves to say things when they took place in time. Yeah, when did these actions happen in time? And of course, this is a part of everyday conversation. So make these pa'a, memorize the vocabulary and the patterns and all the rules that go with it, the guidelines that help us to make coherent sentences that we can express to someone else, they can understand and they can respond. All right. Mai ka iloa e na ohana, mahalo kia hui ho ana. Until next week, e malama pono, a hui ho kākou, aloha.